Welcome to the inaugural, the news that matters where you live, or at least where I do. I'm Dyanna, I'm going to be your host, and today I've got a few stories that when I was watching the news just really caught my eye, and one of them truthfully has been working for about a week now, Kony 2012. So if you're somebody who is definitely a Facebooker or a Twitterer, you have obviously seen this already. Now for those of you that might not be so socially networked, Kony 2012 is a documentary based on bringing attention to the invisible children of Joseph Kony's Lord's Resistance Army in the Uganda-Congo area. And obviously this is very horrific because these children are being used as soldiers and as sex slaves within this civil war. The problem is that maybe this charity might not be as transparent as we would like. And by no means am I making light of this situation, because it is horrific to know that children are being used in this fashion. But it's important in our idealism that we be very thorough and diligent. So what I want you to do is I want you to, before you click on the bottom of that, let's donate and help these children out, do your own due diligence. Check out the charity. Read the full story, and then make sure your money's going exactly where you want it to go to do the most amount of good. I recommend watching this video documentary though. You've got to respect Jason Russell for bringing attention to some matters that perhaps most college kids would have just passed over in our everyday life of Starbucks and networking. Now, moving along, we have, from the great state of Texas, a new law that is being enacted about women to have ultrasounds who are seeking abortions from public care. And this is getting a lot of retribution from our political leaders, because people don't think that it's right for a woman who's going in for her reproductive needs to be forced to have this ultrasound. I don't particularly understand what the big hubbub is about. Anytime you go into any kind of medical procedure, let's take it out of the reproductive, let's put it into just a basic, I go to the doctor and I'm not feeling all that well, I've got some indigestion. They're not going to cut me open to find out that I've got gas. They're going to do some investigating. And if a woman's mind might be changed by an ultrasound, maybe she wasn't that committed to the particular decision of having an abortion. I say empower women, give them all the information, make sure that they know what the procedure is going to mean, the aftermath of the procedure, or just to make sure that they have every bit to make the right choice for themselves. I'm a firm believer in the right to choice, but I like an informed choice before anything else. Staying in the realm of politics, I live in Houston, Texas, and recently we had a visit from Obama, and it was a fundraiser, but I don't care who you are or what side of the aisle you sit on. It is one cool thing to see a presidential motorcade, and it takes up so much amount of space. But you gotta wonder what's going on with the strategists in Obama's camp, because here, this is the epicenter of one of the more conservative independent states, and you're coming at rush hour, and you're not closing just one highway, you're closing two to bring this president downtown. So I'm thinking, I don't know who thought that 5 p.m. was the smartest time to have him land and come across. That's just not great for politics. Not to mention the fact that, you know, how are you going to raise a lot of money when you got so many peeved people? But I have to tell you, it was super, super cool seeing the cars go by downtown. Now, staying out of the Hollywood for ugly people and into the Hollywood for just good old classic fashion people. And we've got a new reality show. That's right, because you were waiting for yet one more reality show. Jessica Simpson, fellow Texan, has now got a reality show for the fashion savvy. And the twist to this one is, if you like it, you get to buy it that week online. Now my question is, are we really that fashioned ADD that we need to change our styles constantly and consistently? You know, I'm a firm believer and I like staying with trend, but I like that classic Coco Chanel kind of look. And of course, vintage, and one of my favorite stylists and stylist groups rather, is Gypsy Sun out of Austin, Texas. And right now, there's a shout out for them. they are styling an event at Willie Nelson's ranch, and they go to the more vintage shopping. So I'm more that kind of not so trendy in buying new things, but you know, I do have a pair of Jimmy Choos in my closet. Speaking of the entertainment world as it comes to Texas, there is a 48-hour film festival short by Wayne Slayton, directed by Wayne Slayton, called Cold War, and the cool thing about that is it is making international news. That's right, it's going to be viewed at the Cannes Film Festival, proving that Texans can make great film. I'm Dyanna. Thank you so much for joining me for the news that matters to you, or at least to me anyway.